I'm gonna try, gonna try, gonna try. Work till I die, till I die, till I die. I'm gonna fail and get up, cause I'm not giving up on my dream.
Hi my lovely Frosty fam, it's me, Karen Frost at Now Decadence. Sorry I haven't uploaded in weeks and weeks and weeks. It's been a rough couple of months for me, so I just had to do what I needed to do to get through it all, but I'm back and I've got some really nice videos for you, so I hope you enjoy them. So in this video, as you can see, I am going to be doing a bit of an infill. These nails aren't really that grown out, it's only been like a week, so they won't need infilling too much, but I thought I'd show you how I remove the design, because this is gel polish over polygel. So, and I've got a video of this set of nails as well, but I'll upload that another day. So yeah, just showing you how I remove the gel polish with my e-file, and for my filing fans, you know. I know my little filing freaks are out there who like the filing. If you don't like the filing, don't worry about it, just skip ahead to the design part or the infill part if you're interested in, well, whichever one you're interested in. Just skip forward, not a problem. But for my filing freaks, here you go. So I'm using a carbide e-file bit, and it's not, the teeth aren't too harsh, but they are strong enough and deep enough to get off the gel polish without digging too much into the polygel. Polygel is really soft, it's much softer than acrylic, so I am careful when I'm removing so that I don't dig into the polygel. I'm literally just trying to get the gel polish off, that's it, nothing else. And you can see this bit cuts through it really nicely. So I will let you watch that bit, and I'll be back in a mo when we move on to the next part. I've now finished removing the gel polish, so it's time to push those cuticles back. So gently push the cuticles back. There's not too much for me to push back because, like I said, these aren't totally grown out or anything. It was a pretty recent set, so yeah, not too much pushing back to do. And I should say, if my voice is a bit croaky and a bit bleh, I'm getting over a cold at the moment, and yeah, really knocked me for sick. It's not the Rona. Don't worry about that. I don't have the Rona. Excuse me. It's not the Rona. So yeah, just a common cold that my lovely son managed to bring home from school. So he was sick first, and then I got sick, and it was like, oh really? The frustration. But that's what happens when you've got children. They go to school and pick up lurgies and bring them home. Wonderful. But yeah, anyway, let's carry on talking about nails. So after I push the cuticles back, I will use a 180 nail hand file, a 180 grit hand file, that's what I mean, and I'll just smooth over the nails to get out any ridges and reshape the side walls, as you can see. I'll also get rid of any bits of lifting that I may have. I will remove them with this file, and you will see me doing that as well. So I use a routine, so as you can see, I'll go up, I do my side walls, then I do the side of the nail kind of thing, then I work around the cuticle area. It's just one side of the nail, then the other side of the nail, and then the middle of the nail, if that makes sense. You can see what I'm doing. I'll do the same on every nail. to try and get them all as even as possible, so that when I do my infill that there's not a lot to file after that, you know. I mean, I don't have too much to file, but I am a perfectionist, so I do take my time with filing. It's just the way I suppose it's the way I'm made. I can't help it, but yeah, you could probably do less filing than what I do, quite frankly, because like I said, you're going to file it again afterwards, after you've done the infill anyway. But yeah, I'm just a bit extra, and I'm just removing any gel polish from underneath as well. So again, side wall, get that nice and straight, other side wall, get that nice and straight. Then I'll do one side of the nail and part of the cuticle area. So I'm bringing the file up and over, so you can see where the filings are, how it's doing one side of the nail, and then I'm doing the middle part. And I am moving the file around the nail, if that makes sense. I'm not just filing straight, I'm curving the file so that it all curves in. And yeah, I hope I'm making sense. God, I'm so out of practice voicing over. Look, yeah, nearly 2 months out and I'm fumbling my words. It's weird when you get out of the routine of doing something and then you start it again and you kind of feel like you're a newbie all over again. That's how I feel. Anyway, I'll only show you a few now, so just dusting off all of the nail dust now, giving them one last look over to see if anything else needs attending to, and I've spotted a little bit of lifting, so I'm going to remove that and make sure that's gone. Always, 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 number one rule, remove lifting. If you don't remove any lifting, you will end up with a potential for germs and bacteria to get under the nail and you'll get a greenie. I mean, greenies aren't the end of the world, it's not fungus or anything, but they do stain the nail, and it's not something you can just file away because it stains very deeply and that has to be grown out. So if you want to avoid your potential for getting greenies, make sure you get that lifting removed. And when you apply your products, make sure you're applying them not touching the skin so that you avoid lifting on a new set, which again would definitely be a potential for greenies to get in. We don't want that. So whilst I faff about removing the lifting, I haven't sped this video up that much so people can see what I'm doing, because I know people have trouble if I speed it up too much, so I've not sped it up much at all. That way you can see exactly what I'm doing without you getting dizzy or making your eyes go funny. Once I've finished removing all the lifting, then I will go around the cuticle area with a cuticle bit with my e-file as well. Again, bit of lifting, just use my hand file, get that off. Hold your file flush to the nail, don't dig it in, because if you angle it too much you will cut into the natural nail behind lifting. You don't want to do that, so hold the file sort of in front of the lifting and get rid of it that way. Keep dusting off as much as you need to see what you're doing, because the dust can get in the way and you won't necessarily see that you've got rid of it, you know. Don't just keep filing and filing. Do stop and dust off and check it. There we go. No, still a bit. Oh, come on, Karen. I'm so pernickety. Oh yeah, finished now. So, cuticle bit. I will use it on a very low speed in forward motion, and I will go around one side of the nail, as you can see. So I start sort of halfway in the middle of the nail and then around the cuticle area, and then I'll go down to the sidewalls, removing all of that dead skin, that cuticle off the nail plate, because if we don't remove that, you know what happens, you get lifting, and we don't want that. We want to avoid that at all costs. There we go. And I'll do the same thing on all of the nails. Then I will switch it in reverse motion, and I'll do the other side of the cuticle area. Again, starting in the middle and then down the other side like this. There we go. And that way it pushes the debris out from underneath the cuticle area, out from underneath the proximal nail file. If I go all the way around the entire cuticle area in one direction, at the halfway point to the one side of the nail, it will actually push the debris underneath the proximal nail fold, and you don't want that. So that's why I change directions with my e-file, so that on both sides the debris is pushed out, not under the proximal nail fold. So dust it off, give it a quick check over, look and make sure I've got all of the crap dead skin cuticle off the nail plate, and if I'm satisfied I will move on to the next step. I've just noticed a few hanging bits now. I don't cut a lot of proximal nail fold off or anything. I only cut the sort of dead skin that's hanging. I won't just cut all around the proximal nail fold, because I find that that actually makes the skin grow back thicker and harder. You're better off leaving it alone and only cutting, if necessary, just the hanging bits, or just leave them alone, full stop. As long as they're not in the way of your application, you'll be alright. So I've applied the nail dehydrator, and now I'm applying a non-acid primer. You don't necessarily need a primer with gel, because I'm going to be infilling with hard gel, but I like to use an acid-free primer when I'm infilling with gel, hard gel. So I've applied the primer on all nails, and now I'm using the base coat, and I'll apply a thin layer of that on the nails. Yes, you can infill polygel with hard gel, you can infill polygel with acrylic, you can infill any of them, whether it's acrylic, whether it's hard gel, whether it's polygel. You can infill each of them with any one of them, if that makes sense. So it's all interchangeable, they are all basically the same in composition, so there's no problem in mixing and matching your products that way. Once I've finished applying my base coat, oh, I'm making a right old mess on the thumb there, shaky hands. Just use a brush to get that off the skin. You don't want to leave it on the skin and cure it there, so get it off, and then I'll cure that for 60 seconds in my LED Sun UV lamp. And now I will carry on with the infill. As you can see, I'm on the ring finger at the moment. I thought I was recording when I started the little finger, but apparently I wasn't. So sorry, you've missed that one, but you'll be able to see the other nails. So thin layer of gel first of all, that will be my slip layer. Then I take a bigger bead, apply that very gently, and then I'll flash cure that for 10 seconds, and yeah, just to hold it in place. This gel is quite runny, and it was very warm in my room at the time, so it was moving very quickly, so there wasn't too much time to faff about without it running into the cuticles. So I'm trying to work really quickly and just get it in place, and then flash cure it to stop it moving before I go on to the next nail. Once I've done all the nails, then I'll do a full cure. So I'm just holding my hand upside down to stop it running into my cuticle area and sidewalls, and then flash cure that nail, move on to the next. And that's how I'll do it. You'll see I'll do the same thing on each nail. Apply a slip layer first, then I'll take a bigger bead and fill in my cuticle area where my regrowth is, because that's where it's mostly needed, and then I will brush some of it down the rest of the nail. Flash cure that. You see, I'm working really quickly. I'm not faffing about with it too much. I'm trying to just get it on and get it in the lamp before it runs too much. Although I'm not always successful. Sometimes I do faff about and it gets in my sidewalls, but yeah, mostly I'm trying to work quickly so that it doesn't slip down into the sidewalls and cuticle area. Flash cure that. There's a lot of flash curing, I know, but there's no way I could do all nails in one go without it all running, because like I said, this is not a super thick gel. If it was a super thick one, then yeah, you could get away with doing 5 fingers and then curing it all at the same time, but not with this gel. This is the Silcare gel. I love Silcare gel, I must say. And this one is dark cover, or was it cover? Oh, I can't remember. It was one of their cover pinks anyway. So again, you saw I did my slip layer first, then I did a bigger bead, and now I've noticed that it still needed a little bit more, so I will add it. You know, you add where it's needed. If it's not needed, don't add it, but if you're missing bits like I had on the sidewalls there, then just run a bead along and make sure it's filled in. Flash cure that. Onto the thumb, same again. Slip layer on first, trying to get it as close to the cuticle as possible without touching, and then grab a bigger bead and get that on, and using circular sweeping motions, push it into the areas it's needed, and then drag the rest down the nail. Now this started running and it got into my cuticle area and sidewalls, so I'm just rectifying that with a clean up brush and some rubbing alcohol. Still holding my hand upside down, and it still got into my cuticle and sidewall again, so clean that up and flash cure it before it does it for the 3rd time. I'm not perfect, and I will leave my mistakes in so that you guys can see I'm not perfect, but we can get around anything that doesn't go quite according to plan. I'm just trying to fill in that sidewall area, and then I will do a full cure for 60 seconds. Now I've left the filing out of the reshaping of the nails, but I did include the bit in the beginning, so yeah. And I'm showing you these decals. Oh my goodness, these water slide nail decals are amazing. They're made by the lovely Rachel Hanks. God, I can't speak today. And her website is www.printbyexample.com. They are the bee's knees, and I mean, look at that. Those are huge. They can fit the biggest, longest nails ever. Like, and to get a full cover on a nail decal that's big enough to fit really extra long nails well, for me, I've not seen any before, but these they're lush. They're so nice. Look how cute they are. These skull face ones. She's got loads on her website, so check her out because they're worth it. They are so worth it. I was overjoyed with these. I've only ever had like sort of small decals, but oh, here's the instructions. Now you see where what it says to do. Apply white gel polish, blah blah blah, but you can use them in acrylic. I've got a video coming up on how to do it in acrylic. However, I didn't do what I was supposed to do, but you'll see in that video. what goes wrong because I'm a numpty. Anyway, so first things first, we choose what decals we would like to use, and I have chosen this cute little raccoon holding some flowers. He's so adorable, oh my goodness. And I'm going to do 2 flowers as well, so I'm going to use a bigger one and a smaller one, so I'm cutting those out. These are really simple to use, really simple and easy. Okay, there we go, cut around that bigger one. And I'm also going to use some of these leaves. So pretty. And that line, if you just look at that line, I didn't use the line cut, but it's so cute. I wanted little Mr. Raccoon. Oh, dropped my tray there. So instead of getting a pot of water, I'm just using a lint-free pad and just one of these little crystal trays, and in that bottle, that pump bottle you see, I've got deionized water. I keep that on my desk, so it's because it's deionized water, it doesn't go like carry bacteria after 3 days or something. It stays good, if you know what I mean. So that's always on my desk. Oh, and I'm using SBD London polishes, as you can see. Opal Crush number 5. This peachy one is, I think it was 169, wasn't it? Yeah, 169, and this sort of mauvey taupe type colour. Oh, it's really pretty. That's 075. Yeah, so first things first, we have to apply our gel polish colours. I'm using the peachy one, the 169 colour. You all know I love my SBD London polishes. They're great value for money. You do have to be qualified or in training to purchase them, but they are really nice. So I'll go carefully around the cuticle area, and you can see I'm applying it really thinly. Always apply your gel polish thin. It's better to do 3 thin layers than to do 2 thick layers. It will cure better with thinner layers, no matter what brand of gel polish you're using. I do the same thing with every brand I own, you know, thin layers, thin layers. You also don't want to bulk out the nail, so if you're using it really heavily thick layers, you'll lose the shape of your nails, and you don't want to do that. So yeah, thin layers. So the 2 middle fingers are the 075. Those are the ones I'm going to be applying the nail decals on, and then the other fingers if they have the peachy colour, that's 169. Again, careful around that cuticle area, you don't want to get it on there, but you know, I have shaky hands, so if it gets on the skin, it's not the end of the world. I will just use a clean-up brush with some rubbing alcohol, that is, and remove it. You'll see that when I'm finished applying this first layer. Again, I have not sped it up very fast. That's why this video is quite long, because I've not sped this up very fast at all. It's very, yeah, it's only a little bit sped up, just so that you don't have to sit here for an hour. So I'm not quick at nails. I've said it in other videos. I take my time when I'm doing my own nails. I don't rush. So if it takes me a few hours to do a set, it doesn't bother me, because that's my me time. And I sit there and just play with my nail stuff. That's my therapy, as it were. That's my chillax, do my thing kind of time. Again, thin layers. Here we go. And get my clean-up brush with a bit of rubbing alcohol and get any of the gel polish that has touched the skin, because my hands are shaky. So yeah, just tidy that up. Always tidy it up if you've got any mistakes before you put it in the lamp, because after it goes in the lamp it's cured on your skin. You don't want to do that because that can cause it to lift as well. You don't want your gel polish peeling off. When I filed my nails I didn't buff them. I don't really buff nails that often anymore, and especially not if I'm applying gel polish, because if they're buffed you have more chance of the nail polish peeling because it needs something to grip to. So yeah, cure that for 60 seconds and then we will go in with the second layer. Just bounce that brush up to the cuticle area. Now you see, when I first go in with the brush, I start in the middle of the nail, deposit some of the gel before I go near the cuticle area, because if you deposit it all at the cuticle area you've got more chance of flooding it, and you don't want to do that. So you'll see I deposit most of the gel polish that's on my brush in the middle of the nail, then I go into the cuticle area and just bounce my brush and try and get a neat rounded area. There we go. Next nail, second layer. The coverage is really good on these, so I only did 2 layers. I love this sort of taupey colour. It's my kind of colour, really like it. And that peach colour actually, to be honest. I like them both. I wouldn't wear them if I didn't like them, put it that way. And I think they went really well with these decals. You really need to check out Rachel's website. She does mugs, she does t-shirts, she does masks. She does so many things that you can get personalized with your logos and stuff. And then obviously she's got the decals, so worth a look, definitely worth a look. She's got some really nice stuff. I've got one of her mugs as well. It's really cool. And I've just had another order of decals arrive, so I have so many now. Oh my god, it's so amazing. So yeah, be prepared for videos with lots of decals because I'm so excited about them. They're so cool. I've only ever had little ones, so yeah, having these big ones it's just like kid in a sweet shop, like which one do I use first? Awesome. You can't use them straight in acrylic, you do have to use them with gel polish, but you can still encapsulate that, or as long as you've, you know, covered it with gel polish, if that makes sense. So I will do a base coat of gel polish over the acrylic, apply the decal, cure that so it holds it in place, and then apply another base coat layer, and then I can cure that and apply my acrylic straight over it. There's no need to remove the tacky layer because you're encapsulating it. So yeah, it's definitely possible to encapsulate it. It's just that the way these ones are made, the monomer melts them, so you don't want to use straight acrylic over the top. As long as you lock it in with some gel polish, it's fine. Then you can acrylic over it to encapsulate. But like I said, you'll see in another video what I did wrong, because I totally forgot what I was supposed to do and I'm an umpty. But yeah, that's the right way to do it, we'll say. Right, clean up brush again, cleaning up my messes. You know what I'm like, you guys are used to that by now. Cure it all for 60 seconds. My tacky layer is still there, I have not removed it. I'm just going to apply my little decals on now with some tweezers. Just dab off the excess water onto my paper towel and put Mr. Raccoon on. Just pat it on with my finger. Shouldn't really do this with my bare skin because the tacky layer is on the gel polish and it's not good to have skin contact like that. So wear gloves or use a lint-free wipe to do this part. Don't do it with your bare finger like I am. Do as I say and not as I do, because I'm being naughty here. Really should be wearing gloves. Anyway, applied my little leaves, and now the flowers, they're so beautiful. It's best to put white underneath these decals, but because this is such a light colour, it works. So you can get away with using a light colour like I have, not necessarily white. So just a tip for you there. So cool. So I'm going to let those dry, make sure that the water is gone. So whilst they are drying, I'm going to use the Opal Crush number 5 SBD London polish, and I'm applying it to the tip area and then sort of dry swiping it down the rest of the nail, or up the rest of the nail. So I'm depositing most of it at the tip, and I'm only using a small amount, and then sort of dragging it so I get a nice fade down the rest of the nail. It's so nice, this Opal Crush. There are loads of Opal Crush polishes, they're all different, so check those out. I will leave the details for SBD London and for Rachel Hanks print by example in the description box, so do have a look if you like any of these products that I'm using. I don't receive any commission or anything like that from these, so these are just products I personally purchase and love to use, so you know, don't worry about that. And even if I do receive commission on a product, I would tell you so, but it's because I do spend money on the product in other ways, like with Hand Dolly. I purchased 2 before I became an ambassador, and yeah, I receive commission now, but I didn't when I first purchased them, you know. So I'm not going to promote something that I don't personally spend money on and don't personally use all the time. So just so you know, I'll always keep it real with you guys. Anyway, I'm using rubber base coat to seal in those decals. I've not cured the Opal Crush on the tips of the nails yet. I like to sort of double top coat the decals, but I prefer to use a base coat and then a top coat, because when you use a non-tacky top coat, it is possible to top coat with another layer, but I find that it just works better if I use a base coat that has a tacky layer first and then top coat with a tack free one over the top of that. That's how I do it, and it works for me. So each to their own. If you want to just double top coat, then just double top coat if that's how you do it, you know. So yes, top coat now with this tempering top coat, and as we are coming to the end of the video, I would like to say thank you ever so much for joining me. I'm sorry I've been away for so long, but I'm fixing to be back, you know. So if you've enjoyed this video, please click that like button. If you want to subscribe, you know, click that subscribe button. If you want to see more from me, you know, hit that notification bell, all of that jazz. And if you feel like it, leave me a comment, I'll respond. You know, I like to speak to you guys. It's lovely when people want to make a comment, you know, good or bad, I'll take it all. If you've got any constructive criticism, you know, I'll take it, not a problem. I love speaking to my viewers, so yeah. Anyway, I've got some video footage and some photos at the end of the video of the finished set. So thank you for watching. That's all I have for now, peeps. So you take care now, and I'll speak to you all again soon. Bye for now.